Alright. Welcome all, welcome to A Brother's Perspective. My name is David Ware. I'm here with my brother Brian Ware.
Yo.
And we're gonna get into some more NBA talk for y'all, man. First on the docket, a career comes to the close, man. Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook decides to hang it up. Played for a plethora of teams, obviously OKC, Houston, LA, both teams in LA. And Sacramento, Washington. Ended up with a lot of jerseys. Man. Decided to call it a career. 18 years. What do we think about it?
I think this is maybe a case of somebody holding on a little too long, making a little bit too many decisions. I think if he just stuck it out at OKC, he'd have been a legend. I mean, he's still a legend, but going to LA made it messy. How that went down. Going to the Rockets, going to Washington. I just felt like he got passed around a lot towards the end. Pause. I think it's an all-time career, but it doesn't feel as good as it should feel just because of how it ended his last maybe 5 years.
I agree, man. I think it's way more Chris Paul than it is Oscar Robertson. I think he's gonna get. I think he's one of them guys that like. I don't know how kind time is going to be to Russ when people go and really dig into some of those numbers. Really dig into his play.
I mean, Jokic is about to break all his triple-double shit anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he'll only be the triple-double king for maybe the first half of next season. Jokic will probably put up, 30 of those next year and take that crown. And then, Joker has at least... I see Joker playing at Joker level for at least 4 more years. I mean, big guys kind of age a little quicker. But, I mean, his game is so unathletic. His game is just so much based on skill and IQ. I think he'll be able to hold on. But back to Russ. I have to agree. Like we said, it was really those Lakers years. The Clippers year. How long was it with the Clippers? Like a year, right? Half a year, something like that.
I think his best year outside of OKC was probably his year at Washington, ironically.
Yeah, probably so, right? When he was in a situation where it was just...
But that Lakers year, the Lakers being the biggest market with LeBron and everything, that shit was nasty.
Yeah, man, that Lakers year was gross, and I mean, I know I talked with a couple guys about it. I can't remember if we specifically talked about it before it happened. I saw it coming. I knew that wasn't gonna work. He's just not the guy. He's not the guy that LeBron plays with, man. He's somebody that gets the ball, gets downhill, isn't a spot-up shooter by any stretch of the imagination. Like, which is why I don't think the Philly thing's gonna work. That's another conversation for another day. Yeah, I mean, once Russ put that Sacramento purple on, that's when I was really like, yeah, bro, it's time to call it, bro, because now you run the risk of people forgetting who you were when you were at the peak of your powers, and we're in such a microwave society where it's like,
yeah, I think anybody under 21 doesn't know who he really was.
Right, unless they're really like a hoops head and they go look up his early years and they go like looking for it. If they don't go looking for it, then they won't know, who he was in OKC and how, what them triple-double years look like and everything like that. Did you lag out?
Hey, I just got error coded.
Nasty. Do we keep it going or?
Fuck it, we ball.
I'm gonna re-invite you. But yeah, man, I really think it was that Lakers year that really puts a damper on it. Like, because just like you say, when he was in Washington, I mean, he was still doing what he's always done. He was putting up numbers. When the team wasn't winning, so I can't say he was doing what he's always done, but he was still putting up impressive numbers, still putting up triple doubles, still being a PRA merchant. I mean, and that's what he kind of is to me at the end of his career, is a PRA merchant. Like, he's going to get those points, rebounds, and assists, but what's it going to actually lead to? And that's why I say he's just way more Chris Paul than Oscar Robertson. Both legend. Well, that word legend gets thrown around so much, but both all-time greats. But one found a way to win, and one never did. Both had a bite at the apple, and you know, only one actually.
I mean, he had a bite at it, but he folded.
Well, I mean, I was talking about Chris Paul and Oscar Robertson both had a bite at the apple, but
So did
yeah,
Russ.
yeah, no, Russ did too. Russ did too, and it went the Chris Paul route. And you look back at those numbers, you could highly blame him for that, man. I mean, it's a game. I can't remember which game it is, but I know he put up 41 shots. And it's like you can't be a point guard doing that, bro. Like not when you have a Kevin Durant on your team, not when you have a James Harden on your team. But what a segue. Speaking of James Harden signs a 3-year deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Going to be in Cleveland for the foreseeable future. Harden, I think, is 36 years old, 37. So most likely this will be where he ends his career. 97 mil. What do we think about this Harden deal?
He's stealing money. Can't blame him. If I was in his position, I'd try to steal too. But these
Mm-hmm.
are his Celtic Shaq years. Sean Kipp in the Cleveland jersey, like whatever,
Yeah,
whatever
Cleveland and
wash player you want to
Toronto,
think about. I mean, this is it.
Ewing and
Um,
Orlando. Disgusting.
I think if Cleveland had any way to get out of it, they wouldn't have gave it to him. But since it was an option, of course he picked it up. But I think the fit with him and Mitchell is just terrible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Two, I mean, Harden's, I guess, pretty. He's a big guard to be a point guard. Donovan Mitchell's always been undersized to me. And yeah, I mean, to me, this just says that Cleveland has no intention on winning, man. They have no intention on winning. I think they should have jumped in that fray and tried to make a deal when all these deals were happening early in the summer and tried to get him out of there. But either nobody was picking up the phone or for some reason they believe this is gonna work. But I told TikTok about it earlier. Like to me, this just shows that the Cleveland Cavaliers have no interest in winning, man. Absolutely none. They're out here to sell these tickets. They're out here to sell their fan base, a bunch of broken promises, and it's nasty. I don't. The one thing I can say is I don't think this stunts anyone's growth. I think we've already seen Donovan Mitchell be what he's gonna be. I don't foresee Evan Mobley or Jared Allen taking a huge step, and then after that, there's a bunch of role players around. So they actually got rid of Dean Wade, which I think was a bad move.
It's him in Philly.
Yeah, yep. I think that was actually a really bad move for them to do. But yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I've never been a huge Harden fan. Um, and I just think he's well past his prime. I mean, he's in the process of making the mistake that Russ made, right? Where he's just holding on for too long. I guess you could say he's still chasing that ring.
Nah, he's stealing money, and I respect it.
Yeah, I can't
I
knock the
respect that
capitalist
aspect
in
of
me.
it.
Can't knock what he's doing. I mean, I'm not turning my
Yeah.
back on 97 mil either. Uh, but as far as the level of the game or respect for the sport or whatever, it's none of that. None of that's being shown at all. It's completely capitalism at its finest. You know. Hopefully, he can start the strip club and contribute to the team. Hopefully, he can.
Speaking of strip clubs, that's not a good segue. Speaking of fumbling, immaculate situations, Klay Thompson. That's the next. That's the next topic, right?
That's next topic.
Klay Thompson. The fumbling Meg wasn't bad enough. He done fumbled and stumbled his way into Miami. I mean, I know you who are a Heat fan, you still might be a Miami fan, but I think this is just it has washed written all over it.
Really?
He was atrocious in Dallas. I don't think people are honest. I think when people think of Klay Thompson, it's still if you watch any of that Dallas tape, it was atrocious. So I don't think this is gonna work. How do you feel?
This is where we finally disagree, man. I think this can actually work. I mean, what they need is a true table setter, right? I don't think this doesn't work with Bobby Mitchell at point. You got to go find a point guard that's just going to set that table. But You got Giannis slashing from here. You got Bobby Portis in the corner over there. You got Andrew Wiggins diving, and you got Clay in the other corner. Or either you got, Bam Adebayo working the middle if Andrew Wiggins isn't out there and Clay in that other corner. I just think there's a lot of options on the court that can score the ball. But like I say, you need
It's
a
a lot of
point
options
guard.
off the court. That's gonna be the problem.
Now
But
that's
yeah,
true. Now that's true. Clay has this nice guy, all shucks image. I don't think that's really who he is. I think Clay gonna be in the booty club. I think Clay gonna find his way out the club
right now,
with. Um, I,
he's got his boat out there. Like, bro, this is not gonna go well.
he's got a
Like, this is
type. He has a type, and that type frequents, these establishments. Bottle girls, dancers, all this type of thing, man. I mean, Clay is a bachelor. He is a bachelor. He's going to be living in the city of Miami. There are going to be distractions aplenty. Now, if he allows himself to be distracted, that's gonna then it will turn into a shit show for sure. But no, if he can lock in and reclaim some of that game six Clay energy, it's just how do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered? Because how he's gonna be remembered if he doesn't play well in Miami is as the guy that Steph carried to chips. That's how he'll be remembered. Probably unfairly, but that's how he'll be remembered. Because KD isn't even respected for those chips. Those chips are Curry's chips. Like let the world tell it. Um, I can't sit here and tell you any like mind blowing or eye popping numbers he put up even against the Celtics in that finals. So if he doesn't want to go out as the guy that Curry made, like the way people try to say, Jordan made Pippen and all this type of shit. If he doesn't want to go out like that, he'll lock in, man. He'll lock in, he'll get in shape, and he'll get back to form because at this point, as crazy as it is to say that ACL injury, or he had an ACL and an Achilles, right?
both legs.
And that's the one excuse he still has. He had it in both legs, but we've seen guys come back from these injuries. I mean, we see what KD's doing. Even if you want to harken back to Dominique Wilkins, we've seen a lot of people come back from ACLs at this point. So he doesn't really get as much bail as he probably should for that because those are catastrophic injuries. Those are career-ending injuries for real, and I just don't think he really gets that type of response when it gets brought up about him for whatever reason. But I think Clay can get back into a certain form here, man, and become a guy that is shooting 44% from three or something crazy, and just being able to play off Giannis. I mean, we saw Clay try to be somewhere where he didn't have a star to play off, right? I mean, he had a little time there with Luca, right? They had some crossover time there, right? With Dallas.
I don't know if he played. That was the year he got traded. He might have been hurt.
He might have been hurt at that time, right? I'm not sure. I can't. Don't quote me on that. Um,
I mean,
but
Kyrie was there.
how about I say? But he definitely played with Kyrie, and it didn't look great. I mean, it didn't. It didn't even look good. It looked pretty bad. It looked pretty bad. So, I mean, Clay. It just depends on how he wants to be remembered, in my opinion. Um,
I'll say this: if it's gonna work, it's gonna be year two. Like Miami's a year two team all around.
you see
The point
nothing
guard
from him
isn't
this year.
there.
The point guard is
I
not there. I
mean,
agree with that.
the bench isn't there. Like they're a year two. For him to be bad is this year.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely got a bunch of young guys on the bench. I can't sit here and say I know any of them. The only person that I think probably comes off the bench of note is Bobby Portis. But with this team, he might start. I mean, it's either going to be Portis or Wiggins. One of them is going to have to come off the bench. It's just going to depend on who they want it to be. Now that you bring Clay in, especially, I don't think Clay is going to say I'll come off the bench. I don't think he's going to say that. I think he's going to say 4 rings and he's gonna feel a way about that. But maybe it should be Clay. Maybe Clay should come off bench and be that guy that comes out there with the second unit. And now you're playing against backups, and at least just to get back, to that form that we've seen you at, because he wasn't anywhere near that form with Dallas. He wasn't. I mean, he wasn't within He wasn't even in the radius. It got pretty nasty. The games that I did get to sit and watch, it was pretty nasty. It was, 4 of 14, 2 of 9. So these types of nights. Um, but yeah, I think this can work with the right point guard. Now, who that point guard is, if I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like almost like a Darius Garland type. Um, what's the nasty man that ended up there in Chicago? White kid.
Oh, dude. Oh, the
uh,
16-year-old in the cut. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm talking about. I can't think of his name
Giddy,
right
Josh
now.
Giddy.
Giddy, there you go. Giddy, a Giddy type point guard that's gonna, just really be out there looking to set the table. I think it could work, man. But just like you're saying, that guy's not there right now. Now, who knows? Maybe Miami's not done making moves. Maybe they're not. I don't know that they are. I don't know if they are or are not. But yeah, that's what I see with it.
Uh, I mean, look. Out of all the teams in Miami, I guess they'll be the best because their only comp is the Dolphins and the. Well, I don't know what the baseball team is, but as far as this Eastern Conference, I think they'll be fighting for that 6, 7 seed. I really do.
Yeah, I don't see them
Because
running
like the
roughshod
injury
over
prone,
them.
man. Like even Giannis is injury prone. Like this could blow up. Like this really could blow up.
It could go left. I'm always, anytime we're talking ball, I'm talking with, injuries going, on the team side, like with the lack of injuries, right? Now, and all it takes is one foot getting stepped on, coming down wrong, whatever, whatever. And it's all shambles, and it's all in shambles immediately. But health on their side, I think this team can make some noise, man. Especially like, I mean, people are acting like the East is so deep and so tough, but I see three teams still. I don't see now, including Miami, four. You know what I'm saying? Um, I don't. I haven't seen Detroit make any moves to improve at all, which is crazy because the guy that was supposed to be a second option just showed you he might got some James Harden in him when it comes to the playoffs. So I'm shocked that Detroit hasn't made some moves somewhere, but they haven't. And obviously we
I'm
all
surprised
know
Kaminga's still out there.
this who.
Kaminga.
Yeah, I mean Kaminga. I thought he was with Atlanta though. Or
I
you
mean, he's
just
supposed to be a
thought
free agent.
really? I thought they signed him, so they didn't sign him.
I don't think so.
Really? That's interesting. I mean, that's somebody Miami might come calling. No, I actually don't. I could more so see him ending up in the West, ending up with Denver. I think he'd be a great pickup for Denver. Somebody's just athletic, got size, still raw enough, talent wise, to where you could just like not undervalue him, but you could tell him, look, we just need you to get boards, play out the dunker spot, and I think he'll rock with it. Just as long as he's getting on court, I think he would. I don't think he would, turn his nose up to that. But real quick before we get out of here, have you heard any of this scuttlebutt about Steph ending up in Boston? And how's that sound?
I mean, I heard something about nobody's off the table, and if the right team comes calling, but I believe when I see it. I feel like Steph's gonna be the last of that. Probably the last great player to only be with one team. I think that's gonna be his route, his story.
I think we have to see some craziness happen for Shea to ever end up leaving OKC. They would just have to completely go in the toilet. Um, but yeah, of that era for sure. That era where
That's
like
really what
player
I mean.
movement became so smiled upon. I think Steph will be the last of the last when it comes to that for sure. I don't think. If he goes to Boston, like I said, I see four teams in the East, right? Boston's one of the teams. You got Boston, New York, um, Detroit, and Philly. I mean, Boston, New York, Miami, and Philly. So if he goes to Boston, he's going to a contender. It would make sense basketball wise. What it does to his legacy, I'm not sure. Um, But yeah, I mean, I don't see him going, the Russell Westbrook route and going somewhere just to put
Nah.
stats up. I definitely don't see him doing that. I think he'll hang it up before he does that. But yeah. With that said, man, anything else you wanna tell the people?
It's good to be back, man. So it's just where I'm at with it.
Yeah, man. Apologize, you guys. It got really slow there for a couple weeks, man. NFL's about to kick off. We'll have more to talk about. But until next time, that is Brian Ware.
Yo.
I am David Ware, and this is a brother's perspective.